Hi everybody. We are going to get started on the third rose dangle. This one I'm doing just a little bit different. I am going to start it with an orange color and evolve it from there. It won't end up this color, it's just starting out this color. And this one is similar in a little ways to the last one because it has dots as the main form of the dangle line. But this image is more playful. I wanted it to be totally different from the second one that I wanted it to be very romantic. This one, I want it to have a little bit of spark. Like I said, be playful. And that is one of the reasons why I am doing it in orange instead. Okay, now what I'm doing is going over it with a little bit of white to turn it into a little bit more of a peachy color. And I don't know if you noticed, but I just now covered one of my marker lines with the white. It wasn't intentional, but that happens. And the very easy way to get rid of that is to get your brush wet, just with water, and then dry it off so you have a real dry brush. And you can see where I'm going over the line and just pulling back off the white. It's very simple, very fast, and very effective. And I hope you guys are doing okay today. I hope you're having an awesome first day of fall. I think that's what today is, isn't it? How do you say that? Autumnal equinox. Anyway, the autumn equinox. How's that? Ready for winter to come. At least in this hemisphere. Okay, now I'm going down on the bottom where the three little designs are, and I started them in yellow. Okay, now I am getting a little more color on my brush and a little bit of the rose color, and I am going to go over the rose in parts, shading it with the pink, and that will take the orange and turn it into a little bit more of an apricot, maybe, that kind of a color. So yes, it's still orange, and yes, it's pink, but if you did any of the retinal color mixing on top of it, actually mixing, it will come out a little pinker, a little bit, like I said, more like an apricot type color, which brings it down a little bit. It mutes it a little bit, but which ends up making a little bit of a softer color. Okay, and now I'm going in with a little bit more of the orange to deepen it up, to add a little more of a three-dimensional kind of look to it. I hope you can see that at this angle, how that just that one application of the orange watercolor kind of gave it more of a three-dimensional look. Now a little more white closer to the center to bring it up more. It would be really nice if you guys would drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know if you can see how this the white kind of makes it pop, kind of adds a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. I can totally see it. Can you? Anyway, so let me know if you have the time. And now talk a little bit more about the design itself. The three leaves below the rose, I placed them that way because to me it looked more playful. Typically, or oftentimes, when you see a rose, you'll see 2 leaves. Sometimes you'll see 1 leaf. Sometimes you'll see 1 or 2 on either side of the rose. It's not nearly as often that you see 3 on the bottom or 3 on one, together on one part of the rose. So that's why I did it that way, to make it more playful still. Okay, now back up to the rose. If you'll notice, I just put some of the deep rose along the inside marker line to try to make it pop yet more. And now I'm trying to go in and blend it in a little bit. Okay, so back to the design while I'm doing that. Down at the bottom, I thought that the design that I put there was very playful, really lighthearted. It's just got the dots and it kind of goes out. At the bottom part of it, it almost looks a little bit like a celebration to me. So I thought, wow, that makes a really cute rose dangle. Totally different than the first two. The first two are romantic, delicate, gentle. And while this one has rose, which, can still put it in that category, what is accompanying it makes it playful. All right? Okay. And I went back into the rose and added more of the deep rose color. And now I am preparing the little 3 shapes at the bottom, the little teardrop shapes, to add more color. Okay, can you see where I am adding? Here we go, that's easier to see, the deeper rose, and I'm adding it to the right side of the teardrop shapes. And I am going to blend that in a little. And the way I am doing this is by using a dry brush with no color on it. You have to judge your surface, and if it is wet enough, that's all you need to do is dry off your brush, have an empty brush, and then pull your paint around. Okay, so you can see where the dry brush, I'm just taking it over and pushing the paint around and pulling some of it off, again, to make that 3-dimensional look. And it all depends on the colors that you have down and how wet they are as to what you want to do. Like in this case, I did go in with a dry brush and pull some of the color off. Sometimes, oftentimes, I will go in with white and add white on top of the color to get a similar effect. It all depends on how dry the paint is and the colors. And when I add the white, it ends up more opaque as compared to when I pull the paint off. It looks a little more translucent. So it does give a slightly different effect, which you might not really notice, but it does happen. So you could use it for that as well. And then I just went in and started touching up the little dots, which are not going to be pearl dots like on the last one. These are just fun dots. And they are also there because I wanted your eye to be drawn down to the bottom of the dangle, and that's a good way to do it, is to repeat shapes. So those little dots pull your eye down, and then you get the large dots on the bottom. All right? And so now I am doing the green paint on the 3 leaves. I'm just kind of spreading the paint around, and then I will go through kind of a similar process as to what I've been doing. Can you guys tell I'm actually trying to give moments of silence? Normally I just talk. And I decided maybe it's a good idea to give just a few moments of silence here and there. Okay, I just went in and pulled off a little bit of the paint because I wanted a lighter background color. More short-lived silence. Wink, wink. All right, now I'm doing the little dots, and I'm doing them in the deeper rose color. It's kind of blending a little bit with the lighter color I laid down, but it's still basically the deeper rose. Now on to the big dots. I am using green for the biggest dot at the bottom because I wanted to coordinate with the green leaves, because again, that will help to pull your eye down, and you really want to use what you have at your disposal to get the viewer's eyes to travel along your image. Even if it's small dangles, it all helps. And now the very last little circles, I am doing those with the deep rose. But we're not done yet. Oh, if you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, I would love it. And hit the bell notification to be notified of future videos. And if you would like to help support my channel so I can keep making videos, it would be greatly appreciated. And you could do that by doing the previous thing I just mentioned, and by either contributing via the PayPal me link in the description box, or on Patreon, which is also in the description box. So thank you very much. Back to the image. You want to add white to the center of the dots on the bottom. That will make them pop. Bringing those colors up like that it just makes things pop right out at you. You don't always want that, but oftentimes you do. It's really an easy, great thing to accomplish that 3-dimensional look. Now, to me, I think this particular dangle would look so good on, say, a young girl's, I don't know, anything. Birthday, name, just anything that had to do with a younger girl. It could also be an adult. But to me, this color and the shapes look so playful. And young girls tend to be, playful. So to me, I think those two would be a really good match. Okay, back to the image. If you notice, I just added some more deep rose to the right side of the raindrop shape. That is also to help give it the 3-dimensional appearance. And now I'm going over the lines that are between the teardrop shapes in green. And we're almost done. Again, this is really a very easy dangle, lighthearted and fun one. Okay, now to finish up the leaves, doing kind of similar as to what I've done in the previous ones. I, not always, but tend to go closest to the rose, make it darker, and typically just pick one side, whichever side. And then I go in with a dry brush and blend it in a little so it's not quite so harsh of a division between colors. And yes, I am very guilty of, because it's right there, taking my hand and squeezing the brush between my fingertips because it pulls the color out. But I don't always do that. Okay, now going in and adding some white to the side that I did not add the deeper green to. And we are almost there. Ta-da! I think it looks really cute, really whimsical. And the three-dimensional part of the rose, to me, is pretty bold and it really kind of stands out there. It ended up not being orange, did it? It's more of an apricot color. I think it looks really good and it'd be very easy to do. So, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again very soon. Much love, Olivia.